On June 26, 2006, I was a broken and isolated man who no longer wanted to live. When I look back at that day, I see myself in jagged fragments, pieces of me scattered around the floor. I knew my addiction was bigger than me, and I knew there had to be something in this universe bigger than it. Running is a big piece of my recovery. Running can't be the answer to my recovery because I'm gonna get injured, I'm gonna get hurt. The running might not always be there, but it is good therapy. You really need to consider the difference between discomfort and pain if you want to get through it, I think. Because discomfort is something that's very acceptable and temporary. I think usually the miserable moments have come about because of weather. And I had been running it at the Zumbro 100 for about 24 hours, and it was maybe 35 degrees, and this horrible wind, rain onslaught came out of the sky with hail and lightning, and I ended up dropping from that race. What do they call it when you have, you can't stop shaking? Hypothermia was the word. I was pretty blue, and my arms were just shaking. And I kind of associate real miserable times with the weather, heat, extreme heat maybe, or that kind of cold, or elevation in the Bighorn Mountain. I got too high of an elevation, I just kept throwing up. At these races of ultra long distances, there are many people like me there. I have many friends in recovery, I have many friends in long running. You usually don't get good ideas when you're running 100-mile races. But when I was running the race in 2014, as you're running, you're talking to people, of course, other people running it. And a guy who the week before he was working with natives in the Amazon, or somebody else who's running it because of a dead friend. Everybody running this thing is a novel unto itself. I like to document things. That's just something I like to do. I like to photograph. I like to write things down. And so I said, I need to tell some of these stories. I spent the next 2 years just basically talking to people and getting to know people. I chose 8 runners. And some people, when I asked, said, no, I don't want you writing about me. You're making yourself very vulnerable because you don't know what I'm going to say about you. You have to feel somewhat naked to say, sure, go ahead and write my story, because the story writer never gets the story exactly right according to the person whose story it is. Never. But I did my best to give them the respect they deserved. There's a great feeling of accomplishment, like, wow, I made it. That piece of it takes a few days to really process and sink through. A third of the people may make it to the finish line, and you don't know if you're going to be one of those people.